Hi there, Nick. It's Dan here from the Purple Golf Academy. Welcome along, and I've got a couple of your swings here, which we're going to have a look at today and see what we can learn. So I've got an older swing of yours, I think, on the right hand side here, and a more recent one on the left. So I'm just going to have a look and see how your swing's changed, and maybe some of the things that we can identify as things that we can improve going forward. So the first thing that I notice here, looking at these two swings, is your setup on the left here is a lot better. If I draw a line up the middle of your feet here, you're quite balanced there around the middle of your feet, whereas in the original or the earlier swing, a lot more of your weight there was on your heels, and that is a much more athletic position on the left. The one on the right there, it looks like you could easily be pushed over, pushed backwards. If someone just nudged you in the chest there, you'd fall over backwards. Where on the right, you look a lot more balanced and a bit more stable. For sure here, you look very much on your heels. Your legs are quite straight, and your spine angle's quite straight here as well. On the left, I'd still like to see a bit more leg flex. I'd like to see you sitting into your posture a little bit more, so it feels like your hip joint's a bit further back and a bit lower down, and that'll just allow you just to make sure you really are bending forward from the waist. But it's definitely a much better position on the left here, and the head's nicely down, which looks good. It looks a much better position. You look more athletic. I understand you're a pretty good all-round sportsman, Nick, so that's not surprising that you can get yourself into a good athletic position there, and there's no reason why we can't get you playing some very good golf. So better setup. I'd still like to see, as I say, just a bit more sit in those legs, so a bit more leg flex. I'm just feeling a little bit lower to the ground and making sure you've got that nice forward tilt to the spine, which is going to help you make a more powerful swing. The other thing I notice, it's more apparent from face on, which we'll see in a moment. Your hands are quite high at address here. Particularly in the old clip, the angle between your arms there, your forearms and the club shaft, is not very great. It's almost a straight line. What we really want to see is that line being a bit more pronounced, and that'll allow the wrist to work better in the backswing. Similar look on the left here in the more recent swing. So definitely something we would want to just think about tweaking there. Now it's going to mark your head position here at the start of your swing, so we can track how that moves through the swing. Okay, I'm just going to play these clips now. I'll just okay. So what we sort of see in your swing, Nick, is that you tend to take the club away very much with the hands and the arms, and it's quite a sort of high, lifty move off the ball with the hands there. I don't feel as though your backswing is controlled by your chest and your hips turning. So it feels like it's a little bit of a pick up with the arms, and that's one reason why you're not going to generate as much power as we would like. On the right here in the older swing, I'm just going to clear some of these lines here. Okay, I'll just concentrate on this newer swing actually, because it's a better look. Okay. Let's work these lines back in. Yeah, what I'd like to see with you is that you're going to use this, particularly your hip joint. I really want you to start turning your hips off the ball and your chest as well, and let your hands and arms just follow that turn. That's going to keep you a lot more lower into the ground. You see, you gain a bit of height there in your back, so your head goes up a little bit. So you're not quite able to use the ground, and your right leg's quite straight at the top there, which really is a product of not enough turn and not enough leg flex at address. And that means at the top there you're a bit too light on your feet, and you're not really able to use the legs for power as we'd like. Nevertheless, you drop the arms quite nicely on the downswing there, so you are getting the club into a nice hitting position. So it definitely shows there's potential in this swing, Nick. We've got to put the building blocks in place and get that good posture, good setup first, which will make you, enable you to be more athletic and more powerful through your swing. And you've got this peculiar sort of head action where it sort of tilts and backs out in the downswing. That's something we'll have a look at from face on in a moment, but definitely that's going to cost you power. Now let's have a good look at you from face on, Nick, because this is the angle really where I think we can learn most about your swing. So just having a look at your setup position here. Initially, I think your grip is something that we would have a little look at there. If you look at your left hand, it's turned quite a bit to your left. Now what that means is that you tend to hold the club more in the palm of the hand, and it effectively locks the wrists out, so they're not able to set in the backswing the way we would like them to. So I'd strongly suggest turning your left hand a little bit more to the right as you look down on the club, and that'll allow your wrists to work much better in the backswing. That's something you need to just play around with a little bit at home and when you're on the driving range. But if you just look at this first move in terms of what your wrists do, the wrists look very wooden in that first move, and it's just a sort of forearm lift off the ball. So when you get to this sort of quarter backswing position or half backswing position, your club and your forearms are still forming almost a straight line there. At that point, what I'd like to see, rather than that, is I'd like to see the arms nice and straight. In fact, something like there. I'd like to see the hands a bit lower and the club shaft here, so you've got a definite angle there in the between the club shaft and the arms, and that'll mean you're able to set the club in the backswing. As I was mentioning, if you look at if you sort of ignore the club and the hands for the moment and just look at your body here, it really looks as though your shoulders and your hips are just still very much in their addressed position. So this first move is all about a lift with the arms, a lift with the hands, and we're not really using the body at all at this point. So actually, what I'd like you to try and feel, as I've mentioned already, is this belt buckle is the key, and also the up at the top of the chest. You want to get those guys turning straight off the ball. That's the first thing that should move is the belt buckle and the chest, and the arms and the club really just follow. So sort of reverse that process a bit for you there. And the feeling you want to have, as well as I talked about that setting of the club, you almost want to feel that the grip of the club doesn't move much at the start of the backswing. The club head starts to move and swing, but the chest and hips turn, but the grip of the club doesn't do an awful lot at the start of the swing, and that means you'll end up getting this nice angle between the arms and the club shaft, the setting of the wrists, and that really enables you to sequence the backswing in a nice, natural, powerful manner, which will help you get a more powerful top of the backswing position. It's much like hitting a tennis shot in many ways. You get nice and low and poised in tennis. You use the ground and you sort of wind up in the backswing and then unleash it in the downswing. It's kind of a similar kind of move in the golf swing. You just need to get that feeling for that, I think, Nick, in your swing. So definitely that turn off the ball is going to help you get that feeling. Now, if we just have a look at the effect that your start to your swing has on your head position here. Now that's your starting position. Now if we just take you up to the top of your swing, you can see just how much you move off that line, and then in fact coming to the downswing, your head is in an even more backward position than it was at address. Now what that means realistically is that the bottom of your arc is now somewhere just inside your right heel. So the bottom of your arc, the club's going to bottom out somewhere just inside your right foot. So really, you'd strike the ball best from this position if the ball was somewhere back here, and that's simply because your upper body is so far behind the ball. So what we really need to do is get your head in this original box, to stay in that box, and that'll allow you then to get the club nicely onto the ball, with your bottom of your arc probably with the driver just behind the ball, but with the irons bang on the ball. and that will happen once you start to get this turn in the backswing rather than this kind of lift and drop effect that you've got at the moment. I hope I've explained that sufficiently to you, Nick. It might be a little bit of a difficult one to visualise that, so let me know if it hasn't quite made sense to you. But essentially what I'm trying to say is let's use the bigger muscles, the sort of the hips and the shoulders and the chest to sort of drive the backswing and then the downswing as well, rather than just this lifting up of the arms. So give that a whirl. Let me know how it goes next time you're at the range, and if you can get some more footage, great. Send it through and we'll have another look at you. And I'm sure we can get you well on the way to hitting the ball much more solidly this summer. I can see that athletic ability in your swing trying to come out here. At the top of this swing here, if you look at your left hip there, bang, it does a lovely job of easing back towards the target, which is exactly what you'd like to see, because that means your weight then is trying to move back to the left side and ready yourself for the hit. But unfortunately, because this upper body is so far back in the downswing, you can see just how quickly the club comes off the ground there. It doesn't stay low to the ground. So you're not making it easy for yourself to have a consistent impact pattern. So in summary, bit more knee flex and a bit more sit in that setup, and make sure your shoulders are not aiming to the left of the target. Get that grip a little bit stronger in the left hand, so turn that left hand a bit more to the right as you look down the club. And then in that takeaway, just make sure that you keep the head nice and centred, but turn the hips and the chest in the first move, and drive that backswing with the bigger muscles. And let that club head set around the body. As I say, please drop me a line, Nick. I really want to help you get a handle on this takeaway and really make some progress with your swing. So let me know your thoughts on that, and if I can help you with any more lessons in the near future, then I'll be delighted to. So good luck, and let me know how you get on. All the best.